Everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Imperator Rome with me, Alpha by Omega, and Rome. So the previous few episodes were actually very thrilling. Apart from the successful war against Livonia and Aravicia, and before that against Parthia and against Egypt, we have actually managed to turn, we've been offered an option to turn our republic into a dictatorship, and we have our first dictator on the throne. Marcus Claudius is actually an amazing politician. He's not a great leader or diplomat, and he really has no understanding of religion whatsoever. But again, his finesse is extraordinary, and he was thus able to win the hearts of the Roman people. Not to mention that he is tolerant, merciful, crafty, and wise. So that is an ideal first dictator. The succession is, I would say, relatively secure. The next guy in line is Gallus Claudius Scroffa, who is a much worse politician, a much worse leader, but on par in the diplomacy area, and a man of, well, I'd say higher zeal than the usual man. He is a polymath, prominent, and ambitious. So we'll see how it's gonna go. I don't think we have better options though, because the Statius Claudius Codex, who is the governor of Greece, is a terrible leader whatsoever. Postumus Claudius Gallicus would be potentially a much better person, but he doesn't really have... No, he's a dysentery, and he's selfish. So the fact that he has such good skills isn't really making up in the character department. And then we have Decimus Claudius, who is just an unbelievably good leader. I believe he is actually our war hero. But his finesse, charisma, and zeal leaves a lot to be, wanted for. So I'm wondering what we can do. His prominence is 100. Can we could annoy him if we wanted to, and that might be actually a good idea. His legitimacy right now is, he has 87. Yeah, he has, massive amount of support, so we can kind of consider this a successful situation. His loyalty is very high. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. But we are in a state of flux because we still haven't chosen our religious and military idea, so we'll have to look into that today. I think that we will go with the religious next. Not sure which one we'll take though. We have loyalty of characters, which is pretty good. Manufacturer popularity gain would actually be pretty good too. Integrated culture happiness, conversion speed, integration speed, woman power, manufacturer exhaustion. I guess either the loyalty of the characters or the ruler popularity gain, because we now have to look at that as well. And having it as high as possible might be a good choice. What about martial ones? We have experience decay, siege ability. Morale recovery is something that we are struggling with, so that might be a good choice. Legion maintenance cost minus 15% though would be amazing. Shipbuilding cost doesn't know about discipline, ship damage, and morale. Yeah, I think we might go with the army morale recovery, because that will make everything much easier. Or alternatively, the legion maintenance cost, because I'm thinking of raising 2 more legions. We definitely need more troops in the field to be a little bit more secure, and having more legions would be beneficial. So we'll see. Anyway, we were thinking about importing sugar. So to do that, we need to take some of our eastern provinces. You don't really have that much. And there are no potential ways to import sugar here. What about here? Nope. Here? Nope. Alright, well, we're gonna unpause it. I guess something changed as empires rise and fall, things change as well. We can import some of these to make our economy a little bit stronger. You can also, I think, import a little bit of these. They not only boost our income, but also the economy itself. So I'm happy to do that anytime we are asked. What about you guys? You have 6 trade routes and you're importing none. Okay, Abatis is now a city. We'll look into that. What about you guys? You're actually doing amazing. Any precious metals that you could... Yes, you can import a lot of those. So let's do that, just because of the potential economic impact. I think we were at like 143%. And we need to keep it as high as possible. Okay, 146. Unrivaled wealth. Sure. Let him have it. Okay, about this. You are now a city. And that is good. What are we gonna do with you? Well, first of all, you don't have any Roman population here at all. So of course, and not even the Hellenic religion. So we're gonna go with these two. Producing hemp, that's not exactly economic powerhouse. But gonna put the fort, you and you here, and we're gonna have you convert. We'll see how that's gonna go. Master of the Guard. Let's put Gallia. Don't have a single one of them present. Okay, Titus Gallius, a truly amazing leader, is going to be the leader of this. Okay, 14 and 8, 10. Okay, you do not have, so you need a commander. You also do not have a commander. So Faustus Ulpius. 17 is converted to Judaism. So you guys, I'm not forced to start ruling. You guys start ruling, and you guys do not have. Maybe that you will start ruling. Alright, so our regions are relatively okay. I like that. We now have enough to take. What did we want? Did we want the popularity? Or the omen power? Let's play it safe. Let's play it with the popularity. The omen power would be great, but we need the popularity. Alright, and our next target, as we said, is Thrace. So we need to lower the aggressive expansion a little bit more, but then we'll be okay. Alright. Man, Seleucids fell apart, like literally, which is awesome. Now, most important kingdom. I would really like to improve relations with you, to make sure we have a mutual understanding. Too bad you are... Damn, Parthia fell apart as well. Wow, we're actually doing great. And then everybody that we feared is now having a crisis. Alright, so we need to take you and strengthen our navies. So let me just for a moment increase the fleet maintenance. And send you, I think you are located here. And where's the other one? Over there. So actually what I can do is I can split you. Send one over here and send the other one over here. Well, the navy's strengthened a little bit. Now, how is Byzantium doing? That is a place where I was kind of interested in seeing the development. Alright, you're almost. And the next one, but it's just gonna be an aqueduct, unfortunately. There's not much we can do here. Can I speed it up by moving some pops? I believe I could, but you have a lot of... Rizanda is actually a pretty good city too. And you are actually still the local capital. I think it would make more sense to move the capital here. Yes. Yes, you are going to be the capital. I don't think that impacted you in any way. But let's boost these cities a little bit. I can take 2 slaves from Kodia, apprentices, and move them here. That will allow you... Oh wow, no, actually it did impact them immediately. Alright, well, let's build you this. That's gonna help. And you guys can get... Could also take them from somewhere like this. Ionos, for example, would be a good choice. So let's take 2 from Ionos. And we can bolster your size. Actually, no, we can build a mill here. That's gonna help. Celtica lost its governor. The Marathos could be a good person. He could be. I mean, there's no guarantee that he will be, but he could be. You guys unite. And so will you. And I still feel like we might want to... Yeah, we might want to build another... Oh no, 118 is actually far below. Wasn't it like 104? Antonian Plague. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, rats infest the local territory. At Port of Pisa. For whatever reason, Pisa has a vermin problem that is spiraling out of control. There are so many mice in the harbor district that they can eat an entire granary's worth of provender in one evening, causing untold misery throughout the region. If we don't do something, people are going to start starving very soon. Pisa, huh? How bad is it in Pisa? Well, do you have still well, we don't have a lot of imports here, so it might be a good idea to actually boost it up. But I think that we can then just let it play out on its own, because I don't think this is a major issue for us at this point. Because if we start improving the grain imports, we are gonna be fine. And we look at the numbers, we are doing really good here. It's 10 out of 11. What else? Something for slaves to be happy about. Do we have stone? We do have stone, wood, cloth. What about game? That's for tribal. For wood, hemp. Do you have hemp? No. Let's improve hemp. It's gonna make you a bit better, and at that point we can say let the locals manage their own affairs without our help. Because I mean, we are now importing massive quantities of food. But what about the Antonine Plague? The Antonine Plague of 165 to 180 CE, named after Roman emperor, also known as the Plague of Galen. After Galen, the physician who described it, was the first known pandemic impacting the Roman Empire, possibly contracted and spread by soldiers who were returning from campaigns in the Near East. Scholars generally believe the plague was a smallpox, although measles have also been suggested. The total death count has been estimated at 5 to 10 million, roughly 10% of the population of the empire. The disease was particularly deadly in the cities and in the Roman army. The Antonine Plague occurred during the last years of what is called the Pax Romana, the high point in the influence, territorial control, and population of the Roman Empire. Historians differ in their opinion of the impact of the plague on the empire in the increasingly troubled eras after its appearance. Close the city gates, call the physicians and the priests. Let the pestilence pass and do not provoke the people any further. Oh, Jesus Christ. Roma. So this is just for Rome, or this is for all of us? I think that might be for just the capital. Local unrest, local tax, population growth, local population happiness, local manpower, attrition, maximum attrition, local import routes. Or does this hit everyone? Okay, so if we close the gates, we get extra 20 unrest. What's the effect? Attrition. Population output. Stability. This will lead to unrest and rebellion, and this will allow the plague to spread. Let's go with the unrest and rebellion then. So, okay, what is the exact effect on Rome? 20 unrest, provincial loyalty is dropping. With a little bit of incense, we lost a massive amount of trade routes. The food is just not here. So I have a feeling that whatever we do, we need to get more food. Local happiness, country civilization level, stone. Okay, we need to kill some of these trade routes. Local slave happiness, iron. Okay, so what can we get? Precious metals, dates. Free men. Okay, base. Let's cancel base metals. Let's cancel incense. What does our first and foremost priority is to secure that Rome will not starve. Okay, vegetables can be cancelled. Stone gives slaves and build cost. Okay, we are okay with getting rid of the build cost. We are okay with getting penalty for this. Citizenship, counter civilization level. I'm okay with this. Nothing for you guys. Fish. And yeah, we can cancel fish and livestock. Noble happiness. We'll get back to this when we can. Alright, so we can now import, what is it, 14 more units of grain. Okay, well, this is fun. Rome is gonna just fall face first and starve to death. I mean, you know, we're entering the time when Rome is no longer going to be an actual powerhouse. Instead, we are going to be the declining power that's gonna start losing territories left and right. There are so many amazing epics from this time, but none of them really go towards a happy ending. So let's see how it's gonna recalculate. Actually reminds me that, did we take the food bonus? No, we didn't, because that one would be beneficial for us now. Let's get morale recovery. KTI are unhappy. Do we have any KTI in the house? Fabulous KTS. It is my understanding that that's not gonna be the case. Okay, Ancus, Junius, you are Roman. Hepatic, really. Macedonian, Hellenic. We don't have any Roman people left, as it turns out. Physician. This would be a good point to... No, we don't have anyone. So, Ancus Junius. Olympiad. Well, we're losing even more food than we were losing before, somehow. How the hell is that possible? Okay, well then, you give what? Tax and food. You give what? Well, the governments we just have to do without. Diplomatic reputation. Civic tech investment. Citizen output. Citizen happiness. Alright, well. Just gonna have to do without. Because this is not... We do not have enough food. Save happiness. Well. This is an emergency situation. And we have to treat it like that. Primary goal. Save Rome from utter starvation. Wish there was something else that I could do. But there isn't. So just take it at the face value. And hope for the best. Okay, now again it's winter. So we are bound to see some bad numbers during winter, but if we can have at least a mediocre surplus during spring and summer, we are gonna be okay. That's not better. How is this not better? How is this not better? They consume 7,173 food every 12 months. Wife required. Yeah, I'm aware, but there really is no wife. I mean, all of them are just... I cannot understand why there's no list by age. Oh, here, sort by age. Ah, this is age. So the youngest... Okay, now they are 2 and 27. That actually is not bad. Humble, narrow-minded, trusting, cruel, selfish, noticeable. So I guess that's an easy choice, right? This one is corrupt, unfortunately. She has nefarious tendencies. Splendid. So you now have a wife. February. It looks like we haven't done anything. Like we're importing just insane amounts of food, and the game is not kind of registering that. What about elsewhere? Is the food situation an issue in other places too? Bavaras, I'm pretty sure I fixed your food income by mandating a ton of grain imports. Somehow that went out the window. So let me just do that again. Alright, you can now import more food. Stadium deserted. It would appear that this year, hardly anyone turned up to the Olympic Games, and the event had to be cancelled. The disappointment felt across the whole Greece is palpable. Perhaps next Olympiad will be better. Alright, we're also not getting any money. So glad I didn't raise any additional legions. Okay, it's May and we're getting minus 472 food per. Okay, so in about this is really bad. This is really bad. So if I cancelled every other import route, we would still not get enough food to feed these people. So there will always be starvation and Rome is gonna suffer no matter what we do. How long do we have? Anton Plague. 19th of August. 24 months. Yeah, there's no way to stop it, no matter what we do. It's gonna get really bad. It's gonna get really bad. What I mean, not a reason to not try. But it is still kind of crazy when you think about it. Train successful. Yeah, minus 306. Okay, it's getting a little bit better. And the trade seems to be collapsing a little bit. Okay, Parthia regained a large territory that it lost before. And we're suffering because of that. Alright, well, I'm okay with suffering. Pain is an old friend, as they say. Well, we might have we're looking at about a year without food. About a year. Sounds nicer than it actually is. No iron. Alright, I guess that's all for this episode. I'll see you in the next one where we are going to have to face the music. So till then, you guys take care.